Cassandra, it's Mikhail at Ready Rate. How are you today?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Not bad if you're planning on moving to the beach. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Well, my kids, they all moved out, so we have this 4-bedroom house and no kids. So
Ah,
we're ready to change it up.
I love it. Next phase, focus on yourself, and nothing better than waking up to the sunrise every morning to get that going, right?
That's right. Some vitamin C.
Well, cool. Well, listen, I'm excited that you reached back out. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to help you guys again. So, awesome. So let's kind of just start at the beginning real quick. So, other than the property that we helped you with before that you have, do you own any other real estate right now?
We do not.
Okay, good. And is the plan to buy first and sell later, or is it to buy and sell simultaneous? What are you thinking?
Probably not buy first, sell later. Either sell first and then buy, or do it simultaneously.
Okay, perfect. And my guess is we're going to do it under you and your husband again, right?
Correct.
Perfect. And what are your credit scores right now? Are they still pretty amazing?
Credit Karma says that it's either 800 or 798, depending on what you look at it.
Perfect. Well, I know it was like 800 last time we did your loan, so
Yeah.
I'm sure it's right up there. That's great. Let's go back to your primary that you're going to sell. Just between you and I won't tell a soul. How much is the minimum that you would take for a sales price on that property?
I think we're looking at around 700,000.
I love it. And the reason I ask that is because we're going to calculate approximately what your net proceeds will be from the sale. So Remind me, how much do you owe on the mortgage currently?
521, I believe.
Okay, perfect. And just the one mortgage on it still, is that fair to say?
Correct.
Okay, good. So you're going to use a realtor to sell most likely, right? Is that fair to say?
Correct. We're going to use Heather again.
I love it. Yeah, she's my favorite. So assuming
she's my best friend, so.
Yeah, I think I remember that now that you say it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, she's great. So, okay, good. So usually I'll take like 7% off of your minimum sales price and then subtract what you owe. So if we do all that math, you'll probably end up with about $130,000 in net proceeds, worst case scenario. Hopefully you'll sell it for more than 700, but that's why I asked, worst case, what would you sell it for? And is it fair to say that you want to use all 130 towards the next purchase?
Let's say we put 30,000 down.
Okay, perfect.
I think we discussed this last time though, because it didn't make a difference really in our payments. I think last time instead,
just a couple $100. It's not a lot. Yeah.
I think last time instead we used the money and made our interest rate a little bit lower.
Yep. Yeah. So remind me, who's the veteran? You or your husband?
My husband.
Perfect. What branch did he serve in again?
The Army.
Love it. And how many years was he in?
20.
Perfect. So he's full benefits on retirement. Does he have a disability rating? Remind me.
100%.
100%. That's right. I love it. And you guys got your full exemption for real estate taxes set up, right, on the current home?
We did. So I was going to ask, I don't know, maybe you know, if we already have it set up on this home, will it transfer to our new home where we don't pay taxes that first year?
What we'll do for you guys is we'll not escrow, so you don't have to worry about putting any money in the escrow account or anything like that for future taxes. Okay, so then fast forward, as soon as we close on the property and you get your licenses updated, and you're going to go and do two things with the county. You're going to transfer your tax. Actually, you won't do that because you're already exempt. So you're going to just go to the county and you're going to update your address with them. You're going to transfer your homestead, and then you're going to ask them to reapprove your exemption for 100% disability rating for veteran status.
Okay.
And then they'll probably have to go through a cycle to get that updated properly. But I don't see any scenario where you'd have to pay anything in taxes. It should be pretty easy for them to figure that out. Remember, the next tax assessment will happen in the summertime, and by then, you'll probably already have sold, bought, and processed paperwork, so you should be good.
Okay.
Yep, and I'll help you with that down the road if you get stuck or you forget. Just call me. Remember, we got your back. Yep. Okay, good. So moving on, let's talk about just a quick update on your debts. Do you have any car payments or car leases right now?
We just have one.
How much is the monthly payment?
We own it. We owe $17,100.
Okay. Perfect.
We pay $447.
Okay, good. How much total credit card debt do you have right now?
We just have one credit card that has $8,880 on it.
Okay, good. Any personal loans or student loans?
I have student loans.
How much total student loan debt right now?
$10,443. I did some homework before you called me.
I can tell. Good job. How much is are you making payments on that student loan debt?
$81 on one account and $102 on the other, so $200.
Okay, perfect. And any obligations to alimony or child support?
No.
No bankruptcies, foreclosures, nothing like that, right?
No.
And no outstanding IRS debts, correct?
No.
Okay, good. Let's remind me about income. We'll start with you. Are you working, self-employed, something different?
So I am working, except I started a new job on Monday. I was going to ask you about that.
Oh, that's good. Congrats. Is the new job a W-2 job?
Yes.
Perfect. How long were you at your current or soon-to-be previous job?
A little over 2 years since I've moved here.
Okay, good. In your new role that starts on Monday, is it going to be hourly, salary, something different?
$100,000.
Perfect. Congrats. That's great. Any other sources of income for you on the books?
Not for me.
Okay, good. And then for your husband, he's retired, but does he work too? Remind me.
So he's in the process of starting a new job. I don't know when his start date will be. He will be hourly, 40 hours a week, making $19.50 an hour.
Perfect. And how long? And he's currently employed, right?
He's not currently employed.
How long ago was he employed?
Well, he had a couple of little things that he did in the last 2 years. Like he worked for Lowe's for, I don't know, 5 months. And I guess he stopped working there in March of last year. But he's retired with full benefits.
Yep, no worries. So he hasn't worked since March of 2024. Got it. And let's go back to his benefits now. So how much is his VA retirement income?
So his retirement pay, I mean, what he gets, I don't know what the gross pay is, but what he gets is $24.50 a month.
And how much is perfect? And how much is the disability?
$41.80.
Okay, good. I'll reference your old file too to get a general idea of what his is, but that just helps me remember the story.
I'm looking at it on our bank statement, so.
Yeah, no problem. I know the disability should be gross, because they don't take anything out for that. So we'll double check on the retirement portion and make sure we know, but no big deal. Okay, so so that's all the boring stuff. Let's talk about some fun stuff. So you said you want to buy a place on the beach, so it's probably going to be a condo. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
Okay. And what is I'm sure you've done some window shopping. What's the maximum purchase price that you guys have decided you're not going to go over?
Well, I can 100% say that we probably will not go over $600,000.
Okay, good. And then, those condos are going to have HOAs. So what is the maximum HOA that you're going to be willing to do before you're like, you guys are crazy, I'm not doing that?
So I mean, this HOA is $920, $23 a month, but the house itself is $549.
Okay, so let's just say max HOA $1,000. What county, by the way, or counties are you thinking about moving to for the beach condo?
Pinellas County.
Okay, good to know. Okay, so a couple things I want to remind you. Number one, when you're doing condo and VA, in order to be able to do VA financing in that condo, the condo has to be listed on the VA approved condo list. So the VA has a cool website where we can go in and quickly search condos that are approved already. If the condo is not approved, then it creates a little bit of a problem because it's pretty difficult to get a condo approved through VA for financing. Not impossible, but it takes time. And typically it's not something that you want to do when you're searching for a new home. And, we have to get the association on board. They have to be willing to provide a bunch of documents for us to give to the VA for review. And we can try to do it anytime, but it's definitely hard, just so you know. If the condo that you want is not on the VA approved list, then I would just recommend doing a conventional loan. Remember that we're going to still underwrite the condo association similar to how we underwrite a borrower. We're going to look at their most recent budget, how much they're allocating to their reserve line. We're going to look at their master insurance policy. They're going to complete what's called a condo questionnaire. We're going to look at any current construction projects, any current special assessments. We're going to really pick them apart to make sure they're meeting all the guidelines when it comes to financing. Assuming that they do meet all the guidelines, then we can do conventional loans or VA loans with minimum down payment options, which means anything as low as 0 on VA and as low as 5% on conventional. Obviously, if you're going conventional and you're not putting at least 20% down, there is mortgage insurance in play. However, I wouldn't stress too much about the mortgage insurance because your credit score drives how much your mortgage insurance premium is going to be, and it'll be really low since you guys have amazing credit if you did end up going the conventional route. So I wanted to explain that to you because doing condos is not quite as simple as doing townhomes and single family homes when it comes to VA. What I'd probably say, do you have the address of the one that you're interested in? Sounds like you're already interested in one, right?
Yeah, we haven't physically looked at it, but it's 855 Bayway Boulevard.
Is there a unit number or no?
Number 606.
606, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I'll do a little research and see if that one is already listed. And then I'll also send you an email with a link and some instruction on how you can search for approved condo projects in Pinellas County. When you bring it up, it'll list all of them. There'll probably be, hundreds of them, but they're all alphabetized. So if you find a particular condo project that you're interested in, my suggestion, very first step would be to go to that website and see if that condo association is listed. That'll immediately tell you whether VA financing is in play or we may have to look at conventional. Now, I know it's really cool to get VA because obviously your husband's earned it, and typically it is going to be the superior loan when it comes to interest rates, especially since he's disabled and he doesn't have to pay the upfront mortgage insurance with the VA funding fee, as they call it. But if you find the perfect home, don't feel like you can only do VA. You guys are excellent candidate for conventional too. Again, you want to do minimum down. So if you buy something at, I think you just said it was like 550 was the one you were interested in. So minimum down would be about 27,500 for your down payment. Now you'd have closing costs also. So, roughly, let's say, around 40 grand would be your total out of pocket to complete that purchase of that condo. Don't get discouraged about buying a condo just because VA might not be an option, and just understand that we do have a plan B. Does that make sense?
Well, I've already looked at that condo association that we like, and it's not approved.
Okay, yeah, there you go. I was just going to say, most condos on the beach, most of those associations are not going to be found approved with the VA. It's kind of a general assumption, but it's just based on what I've seen over the years. Doesn't mean we shouldn't check though. So if you find another one, always step number one is to go to the VA website. And if you don't want to do it, just send me the address again and I can check it for you. But I know you're pretty astute, so you already looked this one up like you just said. The most important thing right now is just to make sure that you are able to comfortably afford the monthly payment that is associated with what you're dreaming about. So let me do that really quick for you. Let me give you a quick understanding of what a monthly payment might look like based on what you've described to me so far. So let's assume we do max. So let's say we buy 600,000 condo, we do 5% down. Let's assume we do end up having to go conventional. So I'm going to estimate a rate like around 7.6 for you. And let's assume insurance on the condo. It shouldn't be too expensive. I wouldn't imagine more than like maybe $120 a month. Remember that the master association on a condo is going to cover pretty much everything related to the walls out. And then as a resident, you're just going to cover the walls in. So your particular insurance policy is called an HO6 policy. And it's cheaper because you're covering a smaller amount of the overall property. Taxes, they're going to kind of wildly vary. So we don't know exactly what it'll be initially. Remember, eventually you'll just get rid of it anyway because of the exemption, but you have to apply for it again post-closing. But let's just throw a number in there of like $500 a month. And we'll do $1,000 for the HOA, even though that's your max. And, mortgage insurance with your 800 credit scores, like I said, it's going to be pretty cheap. I'm going to estimate like around, it should be like barely $100 a month, maybe 120. I'll estimate like 119. So in that scenario, with everything I just described, your total payment would be $5,379. So let's just round up to $5,400 for easy math. So you'd be looking at about $5,400, including everything. Now, as far as ability to qualify, real quick, while you kind of digest that number I just gave you, when we look at your debts, we've got $447, maybe $100 a month minimum for credit cards, barely $200 for student loans, and that's pretty much all of your debts. And when we think about your income, you got your new job starting for $100,000, and then we've got your husband's disability and your husband's retirement. So, that's like $15,000 a month in gross income, and it's probably not even accurate because, like we said, the VA retirement is probably a net number. So you're looking good. Plenty of income to qualify for this adventure if you decide to move forward. Not worried about that at all.
Okay.
Now, one other thing I'll mention about condos, if you have to go the conventional route, we're going to underwrite the condo, like I said, similar to a borrower. And if it passes all the guidelines, then it gets what's called a full review approval. And that does open up the opportunity to do minimum financing options. If for some reason it doesn't pass full review, and the most common reason why is it doesn't have enough money being allocated to the reserve line on their budget. There's other reasons, but that's the most common. So if for some reason it doesn't pass full review, then it can probably still get approved for what's called limited review. However, if limited review is the best we can do on the condo approval, then that triggers a minimum down payment of 25%. So more than likely, based on what you've described, you could do that, but you probably don't want to, right? Based on your savings goals and everything.
Right.
So that would be one of the things that we don't necessarily figure out until there's a few tricks where sometimes we can figure it out really fast, but usually we have to order the condo docs and pay the condo association a small fee for them to supply them and kind of go through the motion. So just understand when you're trying to buy that condo on the beach, there are a few extra steps that'll be a little different from what we've done in the past.
Okay.
Yep. And there's a little skin in the game for you. If we can't figure it out fast and we have to go through the steps and the motions, you'll pay for a few things up front. Most notably, you'll pay for your home inspection, your appraisal. Those are common things. One additional fee that you'll have to pay is whatever the condo association charges for their condo docs. Typically, that's like $200 to $500. So you'll have roughly about, $1,500 skin in the game. We'll have Heather obviously grill the listing agent as best she can on whether or not they know if full financing is available. We'll have Heather grill them on some of the common pitfalls, like is there any current construction projects, special assessments. We'll ask for them to provide a copy of the budget up front so we can quickly analyze the reserve allocation and make sure there's not any pitfalls there. We'll do everything we can to try to get answers before you have to invest any money, but worst case, you may have to put a little skin in the game to peel all the layers back. So just want to make sure you understand that too.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so the $1 million question is, based on your current household budget and everything you got going on, I know you're empty nesters now, so that's got to help, but is a $5,000 mortgage payment affordable right now?
I don't know. It seems like a lot.
Yeah, keep in mind that $1,000 of that is the HOA. roughly right now in my estimate, about 620 of it is taxes and insurance, but obviously the taxes will go away. So, you'll still you'll be in the upper fours, for your payment.
Mhm.
So just round up to 5, for budgeting purposes. But yeah, and then keep in mind too that even on this condo, after you get rid of taxes, and let's say I refinance you in the future into a 5% rate, 4.9, just so for the moral victory of being under 5, you're still looking at a $4,200 payment, $4,300. So, in the beginning, you'll be right around. Go ahead.
I think it will be. It's just, it was kind of the same thing when we moved here, like trying to wrap our head around paying
Sure.
more than what we currently pay. Like I did some numbers. Like our mortgage is like close to $3,200 a month, but
Yep.
we also have a pool guy, a pest control guy, a yard guy, a water bill, like
Yep.
a cable and internet bill that's included in your condo fees.
So true.
So, I mean, we have an additional $1,000-something a month that we pay just in these services that we won't have to pay. So, although the 5,000 is still more than that, but it's not that much more. So, again, 600,000 is probably more the high end of our budget, and we're probably looking more around like 550,
Love it.
which will change that. Like if it were 550, how would that change that fee? That
Yep. Yeah. So 550, and let's just assume everything else is the same. At 550, that takes it down by almost $400 a month.
yeah.
And then once you get rid of taxes, you're at about 4,500. And then, God willing, in the future when we refinance you under 5%, now you're at 4,000 or just under 4,000. So, you're definitely. I mean, the reality is, like you said, you're probably even going to be saving a little money ultimately when you consider the other housing expenses on your current home that you won't have on the condo. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not bad to look at the sunrise. Or I'm sorry, I forget you're on the West Coast. So to look at the sunset every day, that's a pretty good trade-off.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
I just want to be able to go for a run on the beach every day.
I love it.
I think the only thing that I really don't like about this conversation that we've had is that I can't do a VA loan. So,
I know.
and I have my heart set on this. If the listing says that they accept VA loans, does that maybe mean that it's an approved association?
Yeah, I mean, it's a positive indication, but I would never trust what the listing agent puts in there. You're going to want to verify it. And the good news is it's easy to verify through what you learned today with the VA portal on the approved condos.
Yeah. I didn't find the place where you can put in an address. I just found a place where you can put in the condo association.
Yeah, the easiest thing to do on that website is to just search all approved projects in a particular county. The reason why is because if you do it by condo association, small variations on how the name is spelled can mess it up. So there really aren't any variations on Pinellas, so just search Pinellas for the county, all approved projects, and then it'll list a bunch, like I said, but they're all alphabetical, so you can typically get to the right letter and get a good feel on whether or not it's on there. And again, if you need help, let me know, but it's pretty easy.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Hopefully you can find one on there that is VA, because again, VA would be the superior loan based on what you guys got cooking. But don't stress. If it's got the perfect view and access to the perfect running spot, then conventional is still a good loan, and you guys have earned it through your awesome credit and such.
All righty.
Cool. We went over a lot of stuff. Any other questions immediately?
No, I think I'm good.
Well, you'll probably think of 1,000 questions when we hang up. Just remember, you can call me, text me. You've got my cell phone and my office line. You can text to either of those, and my email's still the same. Always will be.
Perfect.
All right. Sounds good. Feel better, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? All right. My pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.